are you? Do you find it hard to keep people at 2 meters length? I must tell you, I'm bearing this quite well, maybe because I've been a social distancer all my life. I know it sounds unhealthy and unattractive, but trust me, judging from my life experience, it showed me that being a social distancer is the best thing I can do for society. It started when I was 5. I could read and write when I was 3, so my parents had this brilliant idea to send me to school earlier. You know, because then I could graduate 1 year earlier, I could find a job 1 year earlier, and work for 1 year longer. Who would say no to that? The kindergarten teacher. She told my mum, "Your daughter is too shy of other children. She doesn't have the social skills necessary for kindergarten. Please bring her back next year." So I stayed at home, where I kept practicing social skills. Whenever my parents had guests coming over, I would run into the living room with a book called 100 Best Polish Jokes for Adults. I would tell a joke I didn't understand, and then I didn't understand why my mom would tell me, "Go back to your room," and I'm confiscating that book. You would think that the situation improved when I finally went to kindergarten. Nothing could be further from the truth. My first small talk with this sweet blonde girl. "You know, I'm reading a book called Little Red Riding Hood." You're reading books for kids. I'm reading 100 Best Polish Jokes for Adults. As you probably may suppose, I didn't make friends on that day. And for the rest of the school period, I earned the reputation of the most silent girl in the class, an aloof person who's not looking for company. But the first company I worked for challenged this image. I was 23, I graduated from the university, and I found my first job at a language school. For the first time, I was happy explaining present perfect and checking grammar exercises. But one day, my boss said, "Ola, we are sending you to a big corporation. The regular employees would like to have grammar, but the top management wants conversations." I figured out that with my natural social talent, I cannot leave that to pure chance. I need to prepare. I thought, what topic could I discuss with a senior manager at a sugar manufacturing plant? The meaning of life and finding your true vocation? Sounds like a good idea. So I prepared a handout, and next day I went to work, and I had my first lesson with Thomas. Tall, dashingly handsome man in his early 40s. Always very cheerful, very happy, a pleasure to be with. So after some initial small talk, I've already practiced, so it improved, I asked him the first question. "So, Thomas, who did you want to be when you were a little boy?" "Well, actually, I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to help people." "Oh, that's wonderful. But what are you doing in a sugar plant?" "Oh, you know, things change. I actually applied to the medical university, but in the end, I chickened out before the very exams, and I chose another faculty, and here I am at the sugar plant." When I heard this, my internal motivational speaker got activated. "Thomas, it's never too late. You can still get back your dream. You can work part-time. You can go back to university and become the doctor you've always wanted to become." You don't understand. I have a girlfriend now. She's pregnant, and we've just taken out a mortgage for 30 years. I think nothing can be done. I guess I'll be working in this place till the end of my life. I felt the temperature in the room fell by at least several degrees. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you opened something but you had no idea how you close it? In just 1 minute, I managed to persuade the guy that his whole life was a mistake. I had no idea what to do at the moment, and I didn't have 100 best Polish jokes to help me. So I just said, perfect! Present perfect. You want to revise present perfect? Thomas had nothing against. Actually, he looked like he didn't care about anything at all. Several months later, I learned that he and his girlfriend broke up. But we all know that my influence was not that big, right? Anyway, the influence I have on people when I speak persuaded me to keep more social distance. And I became a speaker, because on stage I can be as eccentric as I want, with the audience safe at least 2 meters from me. And I finally learned that I belong. Not because it's the time of the pandemic and we all keep social distance, but because I realized that no matter who you are, whether you are a Swedish New Yorker with a black belt and 1 suitcase, whether you are an eternal child with no social skills tripping over your shoelaces, no matter which shoes you are in, we are all socially awkward from time to time. And telling stories help us get rid of it, help us get closer, and help us connect. Let's stay connected, everybody.